Evening, everyone. So, I posted a story this afternoon and I just wanted to clarify a few things. So, the gentleman that I was referring to, who wrote It Is Well With My Soul, is Mr. Sparford, and it was not two daughters that died in the shipwreck. It was actually four daughters that died. But he did later on, with his wife, have three other children. And unfortunately, one of those children died as well at an early age. And it was a boy. So I'm done with that story. Have you guys heard of Jane Elliot? If you have not, come closer. Let's do a. Let me tell you all about her. So it's captioned here on top that she turned children against each other in just one day. So Jane Elliot was a teacher in the United States. And after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., it disturbed her so much that she wanted to make an impact on her learners. So the next day, she divided her learners um, into two categories. One group was learners with blue eyes, and the other group was learners with brown eyes. He then installed that the blue-eyed learners were superior than the brown-eyed learners. And by the end of that day, it happened that the blue-eyed learners were very confident and very mean, while the brown-eyed learners were the exact opposite. And so the following day, she then changed the experiment. She made the brown-eyed learners made them think that they were superior, they were smarter, and made the blue-eyed learners very, very non-confident. Now you may ask, well, how she did this, and I'm gonna explain it. But I want to tell you that this experiment went beyond her classroom. She was invited to numerous workplaces. She even did this experiment on the Oprah show. So when you go on Google or you go on YouTube, you will be able to see these different experiments that she used. So I'm just going to take you down just an example of how she installed this. So what would happen is that she would be invited to whether a university, or for example, the Oprah show. So the people that were guests or the people that participated in her experiment didn't know that they were actually part of an experiment. And so what she would do, she would immediately divide the people. She would make the blue-eyed people wear collars, and the brown-eyed people would not wear collars. She would make sure that the brown-eyed people were seated where there was aircon, where there was chairs, where there was food to eat, while the blue-eyed people would have no place to sit. They would stand, they wouldn't get any drinks, etc. And then they would all come into the classroom. And as soon as they came into the classroom, she would start with the comments. She would start with the facts, the false facts, how brown-eyed people are smarter, how brown-eyed people are more intelligent, how brown-eyed people have invented more things. And you can actually see the dilemma. At first, you'd find that the blue-eyed people would fight. But no, this can't be true. But after some time, after the training and the indoctrination, you would see it change a bit. What's interesting, she would even make them write a test, and she would give the brown-eyed people the answers, and the brown-eyed people would score high scores, and then the blue-eyed people would not get the answers, and most probably get tests that did not make sense. And so after some time, after the drilling, you would see how the blue-eyed people would react, how they felt insecure and not confident, and you would see the opposite in the brown-eyed people. So at the end, she would expose that this is an experiment, and she wanted to show how racism works, and how when you are installed and you are worked on by the government to make you feel superior by something that is not really important, the color of your eyes versus the color of your skin. And a lot of people have praised her, saying that with this experiment, it shows how racism is installed in other people and how racism has no place in society. So I want you guys to actually comment, if you can. Do you think this experiment would work in this day and age? Remember, this experiment happened when Umar the King, and then she's been doing this throughout her whole career. But do you think that if she were, or you were, to participate in this experiment, not knowing, would you actually succumb and be inferior if you were put in that group that was defined as inferior versus the superior group? Okay, good guys, good night, see you tomorrow.